He's innocent. All right, guys, what's going on? We're here. We're live. Day 2117 of Mike Postle investigations into cheating allegations made on him, against him, by a former Stones employee named Veronica. We've been doing many live streams. We've watched over 100 hours. We've streamed for 30 to 40 hours at this point in time. Not really sure. And there is something that I wanted to revisit today, and that I've been listening to this a lot, which is the Mike Postle interview that he did with Mike the Mouth Matusow, because just been trying to figure this out, right? Why would this guy ever go on a podcast and talk for 2 hours, right? Like, for what? Like, why would he ever do this? Why did he say what he said? What did he say exactly? What didn't he say exactly? And I just want to take a deeper look and sort of explore some ideas and explore some thoughts I have. And plus, this is going to be one of the last live streams I think that I do on the Mike Postle situation. I do enjoy watching the sessions, but at the same time, you know, I don't know. I mean, you got to move on with your life at some point in time. And I do think there are things that we can uncover by watching more sessions. And I also do think that it's important to keep this thing relevant as well, too, because, you know, it's a very important topic that affects a lot of the community. And I feel like if I stop streaming it, then I think it's just going to go away, and people are going to lose interest, and we don't really have any resolution or improvement in the industry in terms of the streams or these games or maybe even this situation. So right now I want to go over this, and I'll talk a little bit more about what I'm going to do after this as well too. So I can turn this up a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to do more live streams in the future, more investigations, more learning, more things that are in poker, and some stuff that are outside of poker too. And then next week, I'm putting out a 5-part series on Mike Postle's greatest session in the history of Mike Postle sessions. So Mike Postle did not get to me. So I want to start off by, I found this hand actually interesting. We're just going to play the hand, and then we're going to get into this Mike Postle interview here. So Mike Postle opens up the 7-deuce offsuit. His name is actually fucking God here. And I've gotten messages from people telling me about swearing and stuff. I mean, it's exhausting, some of the messages I've gotten here. But this is just one hand I found incredibly fascinating, and we know we like to start off with some of Postle's greatest hits before we get into it. So there's a 100 straddle. He opens up the 7-deuce offsuit with his name is fucking God next to him to 280. God spaced out, of course. And you're gonna see some godlike plays here. I love watching these streams. I mean, how often can you see a God play? And inexplicably, Veronica just flat calls 280 with 690 behind on the short stack against a guy who's opening up 100% of his range, it seems like, or 70% of his range or whatever. So yeah, we're going to see what happens here. But yeah, I'm going to do some other videos coming up here, some learning stuff. Basically, just going to take topics and what's happening in the world, whether it's poker or sort of related to my demographic or what I'm interested in learning. And I'm going to do investigations into it on live stream, and then I'm going to do videos after it breaking it down. So whether it's poker-related stuff, whether it's scandals, whether it's not scandals, whether it's players, whether it's all this kind of stuff. So in this hand, the pot's 1100, and Mike Postle has 7-deuce. Now watch Mike Postle maneuver here with the 7-deuce offsuit into $1,100 pot.
Cards or give me death.
Wow.
Well, what's going on, everybody on Twitch, everybody on YouTube? Welcome back to the stream. People have been missing the streams. I think I see my boy Server out there. Hope you're doing well, brother. I ain't seen you in a while.
That's true. Well, okay, so...
And then next week, like I said, it's going to be up every day. I'm going to wrap it up at noon Eastern time. It's a 5-part series. Postle's greatest session in the history of Mike Postle live streams. And I want to make some sort of digestible content for people to watch that can't watch my 7-hour live streams. And I also want people to be able to see an entire session throughout it. So I'm going to fast forward through the session that I'm going to go over, and I'm going to break down the relevant hands. There's a lot of relevant hands that go on here. And it's literally Mike Postle just dominating people nonstop, making some of the most suspect plays that one might be able to make.
For a person who's
So Mike Postle here with this godlike chip stack, one of the most impressive chip stacks I've ever seen in my entire life. So he c-bets. Jack 9 is going to call here.
I don't know. It's not like a grade, but
Veronica has an easy all-in. She folds.
You probably want to do that more heads up.
For 540. So now the turn's an ace.
And then that ace ball. It's actually a good card.
So Postle c-bets flop.
Because what hands is Shane or Poker Overkill going to be like?
Shout out to Nick Stover. Much love, man.
raising that flop with?
Continue the
maybe
investigation we
nut
got
I was
to.
gonna say a nut diamond
Yeah.
draw, right? Yeah.
I really want to talk about this interview.
Outside
So
of
Mike
that,
Postle
ace
checks here,
Checks.
miss a lot
trying
of
to
what he
induce,
has.
I believe, from Poker
Wow.
Overkill.
Snap check
And now watch
behind.
this.
I'm actually
He gets
surprised
counterfeited
that
on the river.
Poker
Oh
check
my
behind. I
God.
think that was pretty much give up.
Wow,
mode.
Watch
And
this.
Mike
Yeah.
Postle's gonna pick up on that.
Counterfeited.
He does.
But
That's sick.
See what happens,
So
though,
pot's
because it's not
2.2K. Mike
impossible.
Postle knows
That
he's
jack
counterfeited
is
right
no
now.
way if Mike
What is he
bets
gonna do?
No.
That
Mike-
Poker Overkill just like thinks he has the best hand here.
Mike's gonna
He's gonna bet.
he's gonna bet half
gonna bet
pot, or he's
1600.
just gonna he's
Is that what he's gonna bet? 16? No, he's gonna bet less
No.
than that. He's gonna make it look a little value-y. I think he knows that Poker Overkill is pretty weak.
he's gonna bet
And I think
nine.
he's gonna
I
bet
could
nine.
watch this guy
Oh,
do this all day.
he's
I
gonna
really
go for
could.
less
I
than
mean,
1,000.
it's sad to watch, but
That's what,
now watch the God
900?
operate. His
We're
name
going
is
down
actually
some
just
change
God.
for sure all day.
It's not even a joke.
And there's no way. I mean, just
He gets snap called by Jack
He's
High.
not called.
What?
Watch his hand. Watch the phone. You're going to see the phone fly up out of his hand. He's just holding it. Watch this.
Wow.
Look, he's got the phone right there. Look at this. He has the phone
Wow.
literally in his lap. He does the little fucking animated act or whatever. And we're going to go through this interview, guys. I want to play a couple parts of the Postle interview here. So watch this.
Wow.
Watch this. He's got his phone right in his fucking hand. Look at this. He just got his phone right there. Just clutched in his left fucking hand. He just holds onto his phone the entire time.
Wow.
So this guy gets postled hard
Dude,
What
Mike-
a
by
call.
Poker Overkill. Snap
shit,
calls to
man.
Look
9:30.
at that.
Wow.
He just gets fist pounds around.
Why, by
Mike-
Frank. Frank's like, I like your style.
You know what?
He cannot let go of the phone there.
Checks.
Missed a lot of what he has. Yeah.
Wow,
and he
really?
checks
Check
So
behind.
he
I'm
got a
actually
little
surprised
tricky
to
there,
see how
trying to
Poker
induce,
check
I think, from
behind
Poker
that. I think
Overkill for some reason, and
Mike
Yeah.
Postle's gonna
it didn't
pick up
necessarily
on
go
that.
his
He
way
does.
here.
Sick.
See what happens though, because it's not impossible.
Unlucky for Postle.
Bet 16? No, he's gonna bet less
No.
than that. He's gonna make it look a little value-y. I think he knows that Poker Overkill is pretty weak.
He's gonna bet
And I think
nine.
he's
The
gonna
guy
bet
calls
nine.
anytime you're. Look at, he's already calling. He's literally counting it out right here to call.
Let's call it nine
Look at
for
him. He's
change
got his
for
fucking. He's got the chip in the hand.
940.
This is normally a sign of weakness. They try to psych you out. He actually snap calls before the guy even puts it in.
What?
Wow.
He's got his hand right on the fucking phone. All right, it's just a hand. It's just another hand. Anything. So let's get into this Mike the Mouth Matusow interview one more time. And like I said, I want to really emphasize the things that the guy says, and we're gonna play Jeff Boski. He's got this nice compilation here. We're just gonna let this kind of run here while we're going over this, because Jeff Boski took the time out in his day to put this together. Shout out to Jeff Boski, even though I told him I don't really want to promote anything to do with AUCR, but he has done a lot of good work and he has put a lot of time and effort into making these videos. So big shout out to Jeff for his effort here. So I want you. This is just kind of the Postle greatest hits. I believe he kind of just made a video here. So in the Mike Mouth interview, I found that he says something that I find interesting. He says this, right? Let's just play some parts of this real quick that I've pointed up here.
Admitting that, or show plenty of evidence that I'm human. I'm going to say this. I do consider myself to be one of the best players in poker. I no longer have a problem with admitting that or talking about it
This is the funniest
and showing
thing
it.
I've ever heard.
And
He has
a
no
lot,
problem
I
admitting it.
can't, in just notifications popping up. I'm not reading anything online.
So he states throughout the interview numerous times he's not reading anything. Now let me play this clip that's from in part 1. This is in part 2. Let me play part 1 here real quick. He says this.
So you told me earlier I'm innocent of this. I mean,
We're going to get to that part in 1 second.
Players,
So listen to this.
like we play together a lot, and the more time that has gone by, like we've all gotten to know each other better as far as our style of play and picking up on everything that we pick up on.
well, yeah, if you're truly innocent and you're on my show right now saying I'm innocent, you got it. I mean, you're gonna just have it. You have to show that. It's so fucked up because in this world, it's always if you're guilty in the eye of public opinion, then no matter what comes up, you're guilty. So, like they're saying now, with 1,000% that you cheated. Now, you do understand that every single person that went out there and said you 1,000% cheated,
Where's the part where he talks about?
every one of them, for millions and millions.
I'm sure he is.
Your win rate is 5 times bigger than pot trippers was, and
Why is he talking like that? I don't understand.
you're innocent, right? That's what you're claiming.
Absolutely.
At 1,000%
Absolutely.
innocent, correct?
10,000%.
There you go. So
Can I go? Can I go 100,000%?
100,000% he's innocent. Now,
I agree.
So where's the part of this interview? He talks about how
for millions,
he talks about in the second part of the interview how, or the first part of the interview, how he's not actually the best player, and he says, "Are you the best player?" And he says, "Obviously not." So in this second part, in the first part of the interview, so it's a two-part interview. If you guys don't know, it's with Mike Matusow. It's on Mike Matusow's YouTube channel. I linked it below. So in the second part, he says he's the best. I'm not afraid to admit it anymore. And in the first part, he says he's obviously not the best. It was just that the show created it and said that he's the best. So if I found that, I just
Not something I would ever think that I'd have to talk about. And thousands of people are, looking at every little micro inch of.
Yeah, I just found it interesting, the kind of the two parts. So in this first part, he says he obviously isn't the best. The second part, he says that he is the best. And then I want to go over one interesting comment that I found on YouTube in Mike the Mouth's podcast and his video. I've been studying this statement analysis, is what it's called. And this guy actually posted something pretty good in Mike the Mouth Matusow's thread here. Let me go to the thread real quick here, guys. So he basically said something which I've been kind of studying more of. And this guy, Jason Hounslow, says, as someone who studies statement analysis, everything about this is unreliable, deceptive. And there is a confession at 2538. It's called an embedded confession. So I've been researching an embedded confession, and I found it quite fascinating in terms of how he words this. So here's something that he says. So check this out.
To plane me to prove that I'm not just some guy who moved to Sacramento to cheat a live stream. I have been playing.
So what this statement is, so if you read into the statement analysis and the embedded confession, what this says is that when somebody phrases this like this and they add in these details that no one said, that is a sign of it's an unreliable statement, according to the research so far.
I will welcome almost all challengers to plane me to prove that I'm not just some guy who moved to Sacramento to cheat a live stream. I have been playing for 16 years.
Okay, so now I want to go over the things that he said too after I read Jason's comments. So he said, however, from this it's very clear he's deceptive. He moved to Sacramento after speaking to someone about cheating there. He can't actually deny the accusation in a reliable way, such as I do not cheat. Instead uses distancing language, avoidance, and narrative about being a nice guy. He also can't face his accusers and uses soft language towards people who are trying to ruin his career. His justification is that he's not entitled and has a family, his opponents can afford it, and believes he would beat them anyway, but that cheating is faster. He told us that the keys in the hat are not suspect, but made no mention of his phone. Actually, he did mention the phone, and I'll talk about that a bit more, which was the main allegation, which shows good evidence that his phone is a major component. While speaking about Doug and Joey, he says, with certainty that the numbers of the win rates are wrong. I believe him, however, again, avoids and shows sensitivity to the actual allegation. Deceptive people often attach and attack the sure things that are wrong in essence, straw manning the argument against them while avoiding the actual allegation, which is exactly what happens in the interview, is that he doesn't really address any of the allegations that are being brought up. So he mentions about, I mean, 5 to 10, maybe more than that, how the numbers are wrong. He says in the interview that he doesn't blame me or Doug because we're going off of the data that was provided by the stream in terms of how the results are, but that's not correct. And he goes over this 2 to 3, maybe more times in the first part, and he goes over that even more in the second part too. So when he makes this statement, he uses a logical argument. His argument that he says for why these results aren't correct do make sense. But at no point in time during the 2-part does he say, I didn't cheat. Here's what he says. Take a listen.
So you told me earlier I'm innocent of this. I mean, you're innocent, right? That's what you're claiming.
Absolutely.
At 1,000% innocent, correct?
10,000%.
There you go. So
Can I go? Can I go 100,000%?
100,000% he's innocent. Now,
Like, is that
there you
good?
go. That's his word, and this is why
To that,
right.
and we kind of sold our own narrative of, I'm I'm the greatest player ever, which obviously isn't true, but
Right. So he says they sold the narrative. That he was the greatest player ever, and then these are two separate parts of the first part. But then Mike says, "Are you innocent?" And he says, he doesn't really say I'm innocent, right? During the show, at no point in time does he say I didn't cheat. He mentions 7 or 8 times. So let's take a look at what he says, right? So he mentions 7 or 8 times, maybe more, that the numbers aren't accurate. He says that right away. He says it over and over and over and over and over again, okay? So he says that a lot. He also says that he has a medical condition, and he brings this medical condition up. Why is he bringing this medical condition up? Is it to explain why he doesn't play poker more off stream or after stream? Is it to explain, I guess, make people empathize with him, make people relate to him, make people feel sorry for him, those type of things like that. He mentions his daughter numerous times as well, too. He says that he doesn't like to play after stream because he wants to get home to his daughter because he recently had full custody of his daughter and he wants to have more balance in his life. He responds to the claim that if he was so good, why wouldn't he go play other places a number of different times in the interview. And some of the arguments that he says is that he has a medical condition. He wants to spend time with his daughter. He's not greedy. He doesn't need to hang out with multimillionaires. He doesn't need a lot of money. I feel like I covered 5 of the main reasons he says that. He also says, at the beginning, he says he does play often in other rooms. I have not heard anyone come forward to verify this. He says you can find 100 people that will vouch for his ability to crush. I haven't heard from many of these people as well, too. I've heard from people at a nearby casino that said he was a prop player there, and he was a losing prop player, and he had some sort of disagreement, and then he quit playing. So I'm looking at the things that he is saying, right? So he's adamant the numbers are wrong, right? Well, if he can provide such a logical argument to the idea that the numbers are wrong, then how can he not provide a logical argument to anything else that he's coming up with, that he's talking about? How can this guy not understand that if you make 50 to 100 plus absurd bluffs on a live stream within a year, people are going to have some sort of, wondering what exactly is going on. And then how could a guy that's like this possibly think that when the idea of the keys or the hat are brought up, he says that it's the most ridiculous thing. It's the hardest he's laughed, and he hasn't laughed much. And if Mike the Mouth wants to check the hat out, he'll let him check the hat out. If he wants him to check the keys out, he'll check the keys out. But obviously this guy understands that that doesn't make any fucking sense, because you just take whatever's out of the hat. You'd take whatever's out of the key. You'd find different keys. It doesn't make any sense what the guy's saying. Right? He should know that. He's obviously, I think he's a smart guy. Whether you guys think so or not, I think he's a smart guy. I think he's thinking about this very well. I think he's thinking about it very in depth. So last thing Jason says is, keep in mind the context of all this. He could get in serious trouble, income stopped, family hurt. Yet all through this, he can't just say, I'm not a cheat. I despise cheats, and anyone who calls me a cheat is out of line and wrong. He instead avoids it, uses soft language, straw mans, empathizes with his accuser, and also throws in a confession. I'm not just some guy who moved to Sacramento to cheat a live stream. Okay, believe him. He moved to Sacramento to cheat a live stream, but he's not just that. He's more, because he believes he's good regardless, than in his own words, and his statement analysis is an embedded confession. So very interesting kind of breakdown there from Jason here over on the YouTube streets. And so now I say, okay, the guy keeps he just keeps going back to, right, the idea that the numbers are wrong. And you'd think he would realize that the numbers being wrong don't really matter much to what the accusations are being made. And the accusations being made are that he plays perfect poker in many, 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 many different situations during the streams where he's actually in the God mode, and then he plays like a completely different player when he's not in the God mode. At no point in time does he address this at all. He says that his style is diabolical. He says that no one out there can understand his style. He said that Veronica can't possibly understand his style at all. So these are the things that he keeps repeating. He keeps saying that people are jealous. People hate him. He says that he was made into a reality star. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not on the ground floor at Stones, but was he a reality star? Is he a star? I'm like fucking confused, right? Like, I've never heard of this fucking dude before this took place. And as he said, he wanted to remain low key. Look, so now here comes the lap. Here comes the bluff. Exactly. He wanted to remain low key. He didn't want to be well known. He didn't want to hang out with multimillionaires. He didn't want to do all these different things. But then why would you plan a live stream where they're calling you a god 3 times a week if you didn't want to be well known? They're representing you as a god. You choose to participate in that. You could say, hey, don't make me a god, right? So he keeps repeating this over and over again. I didn't want to be well known. I didn't want this. I didn't want that in terms of that. He also says that during the interview that me and Doug and other people are trying to spin a narrative that he's guilty and that it makes for a more compelling narrative that he's guilty. While in the process of doing these interviews, he is trying to spin his own narrative, and he's basically doing exactly what he says that other people are trying to do to him. When in reality, it doesn't make for a better story if the kid's guilty or not. It makes for a better story if it's just interesting in general. If he's innocent or guilty, it's almost better if he's innocent in some ways at this point in time. So he's trying to make his own narrative here. Okay, I got medical conditions. I have a daughter. I love Sacramento. It's beautiful up here. I'm the best player in the world. Wait, they promoted me as the best player in the world. I'm not actually the best player in the world. I'll play anyone that wants to play. I'll play Joey in a naked heads-up PLO match. The results are wrong. The numbers are wrong. The results are wrong. The numbers are wrong. So you would just think that if this was something that is legitimate, that he would repeat that over and over again. I didn't cheat. I didn't do anything. I didn't have access to the cards. And he repeats over and over that he doesn't know what's being said about him as he continues to say what's being said about him in videos. He says, oh, this person told me, that person. I'm not watching anything. I'm not looking at anything. He says that on SportsCenter, he got on SportsCenter for winning over $100,000 while Russ Hamilton was not on SportsCenter. First of all, it doesn't make any sense, right? Like, it's not a logical thing to say because the context of the world was much different when Russ Hamilton was caught being a super user versus right now. And you would think that a guy who can make these logical arguments about things that he feels strongly about could make a logical argument here. Makes these illogical things. He says, why wasn't Russ Hamilton? Russ Hamilton was on 60 Minutes, right? I'm sure he would have been on SportsCenter if there was Twitter and the right people saw it and the right people shared it. Just doesn't make much sense what he's saying. He says, investigate the hats. He says, I do things for the story. I have diabolical plays. He says, there's hundreds of hands of me bluffing out there and being incorrect with things. Well, where are these hands, right? Where are the people who support him being a crusher? It's been, 2 weeks now? Over more than 2 weeks, right? The hands that he's talking about are hands where he makes kamikaze bluffs into the bottom part of their range and they make ridiculous calls like have jack high, right? At no point in time does he address, maybe we're working together with somebody. He doesn't say, I'm not working together with anyone. He doesn't say, I'm not accessing the real-time hole cards through my phone or some sort of gadget. he says that people watch the stream on their phone. So you would think that a person that wasn't doing any of this would say, okay, I'll come play some a little bit. And I understand people do things differently, but it just doesn't make much sense. I'm trying to understand it, right? I can kind of understand where he's coming from. He built up this idea. You know, does he believe these things? I mean, I don't know. It seems, right? Like, why would he say these things? Why would he go on a podcast with Mike the Mouth Matusow and talk for more than 2 hours, right? Keith Hudson says the ace-9 versus Rich. It's a ridiculous hand, right? That's an insane hand. So I want to get some feedback from people out there. I want to get their opinion. It's because he wants to manipulate the audience. I mean, I think it goes deeper than that, right? It's like a very easy thing to say. He's trying to manipulate the audience. But what is his strategy exactly here? Because I think he's talking to very specific people when he did this interview. I think this interview is for somebody. Whether it's one person or more than one person, I think this interview is for a specific person out there. I don't necessarily think it's for me or for you guys out there to hear. I think he made and did this and said the things that he said for a very specific reason. Eden Rex said he's in over his head. Poor strategy. Now, I'm not going to disagree with that, but I don't know what a good strategy is, so I can't say that it's a poor strategy because I don't really know. So you would just think that, right? We know he's clear thinking because he continues to make the logical argument about why the graph is wrong, why the stats are wrong. He says it all the time. The stats are wrong. The stats are wrong. So we know he's capable of making sense. Do I think he's a low-functioning sociopath? I really don't know much about that and what that really even means. So I think I would need to research it much more. But if he's sleep-deprived, he was making sense. That's why.
Outside of poker. Poker was my life.
Let's
When I played religiously online between 2003 and 2000.
And he continues to mention this online thing. Like, he's trying to paint this narrative of himself. Okay, I'm the great player. I got good playing online. So it seems to me that he's trying to paint this picture of who he sees himself to be. Because the way that he says it leads me to believe this is who he believes he is. He believes that he is a great poker player, one of the best in the world. He believes that he was cheated on ultimate bet and that was a much bigger deal. And why wasn't that made as such a big deal as this situation is? It would seem to me. He believes that he's not greedy. He believes that he is playing on some sort of level that no one can comprehend. Like, maybe this is just what the guy believes. But yeah, he bets 5K in this hand. Exactly. I mean, these hands are just ridiculous, right? So where's the Postle here, right? Okay, I bet 5K here on the river with ace-10 because why? You know what I mean? There's hands after hands after hands of this. So it's all just very, very strange.
I play at Thunder Valley. I generally play, I would say 95% of my play is in tournaments.
Yeah. Abdul2385 said he's rectifying his perceived injustice done to him from ultimate bet, so he's not doing anything wrong, just getting even. That's what it would seem like to me in terms of how he talks about himself. He makes it seem like this happened to me, so it's fine. And I'm a better player than they are, so I'm going to beat them anyway, so it doesn't matter if I do this. Charlie says, I think subconsciously he convinced himself, but gun to the head, he would admit it. Yeah, I just don't understand why he would go on the show and do the podcast in general. And if you look at his initial apology that took place on Twitter, at no point in time does he says, I didn't cheat, I don't have access to the whole cards. He says nothing like that at all. At no point in time does he say any of this kind of stuff. It's been weeks. At no point in time did he say. So you would just think that he would come out and say these things. He thanks people for supporting him. He says he studied human behavior and picks up on betting patterns. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting to me. So I want to play some more of the interview while we watch those hands. This is the infamous RFID error here.
On that subject quick, out of all the tournament players who play at Stones, I have the most cashes and the most money won.
So right here, right, he's saying that he has the most cashes, and he's saying that he has the most tournaments won at Stones. Now, we've seen the quality of play on stream at Stones, and these seem like some of the biggest donks I've ever seen. So, is that saying much? And does that matter to what the allegations are? No. So, once again, instead of addressing what exactly it is that he's being accused of doing, he just says, I play these $100, $200, $300, $400 tournaments at Stones, therefore I'm not doing anything wrong.
Like, hey, I don't want to say his name, but right. he when he is playing, like the majority of the games that I've played in my life or in my career have revolved around, kind of picking my own games.
I think Mike's doing something very specific. I just haven't studied enough to know exactly what exactly his strategy is here. I think I just need to get in the lab a little bit, spend a lot of hours breaking this down, and really go over it, because I think he has a very specific strategy here on how he's talking like this, and I'm sure that he's talked about it to himself over and over and over and over and over again. So clearly this is very, very rehearsed, and these are things that he's just, I imagine, just told himself over and over again, to where he actually thinks this. Rod McLeod, hey Joe, I'm not a big poker guy, but I've never followed it, but came across yours and Doug Polk's videos in this situation. I've been hooked in following this situation. Well done. Yeah, I mean, it's a very, very important situation. I think Doug Polk came up and tweeted a little bit ago, and Doug Polk said that he's been hearing about cheating on other streams taking place. So I feel like this may open the floodgates a little bit, in that maybe there's other cheating happening on other live streams. And then I think, well, if this guy is doing this, right, like what should happen to the guy, right? I mean, what's happening right now is a lot of ridicule and a lot of people calling him names and saying he's the worst person of all time. And I'm clearly he's not the worst person of all time. There are much worse people out there than a guy who decides to go on a live stream and take money from people in the live stream, right? So what should happen to the guy? Should he go away forever? So it's this weird thing where this is going to hang over him obviously for the rest of his life in some capacity, and people that know him. So like how bad, what should happen with this guy? Because I feel a little bad either way. Even no matter what happened, I still feel bad that for everyone involved in the situation, man. Just a shitty situation altogether. So it's like, what should happen to this fucking dude? Blackballed from the game? But that's not going to happen, you know what I mean? Like, that's not realistic. They're not going to blackball him. They didn't kick out anyone else. They didn't take away Howard Lederer. They didn't take away all these different people like that. So looks like I just got some information right here. Just got some new information from somebody who, interesting, about the Mike Postle situation. Very interesting. I got to go over this a little bit more. Let me play some of more of the interview here.
A player with a color, or have notes on them. Do you remember Ultimate Buddy?
I
On
do,
Ultimate
but
Bet?
I forgot. It
So
was
once
on-
again, he mentions Ultimate Buddy. This is not even relevant in the past 10 years. You know what I mean? Ultimate Buddy is like a bum hunting program. You put players on there. They were fish when they came online. They'd be able to tell you. It's like before PTR, poker table ratings, where you could search names on PTR. You see the results. You tag them as fun players. And then scripts came along where they automatically sat you against certain players like that. So what he basically does is he goes back and continues to focus on that once again. So we have the things that he's saying, but we have things that he's not saying. So, right, why would he not be saying them? How can you possibly come to any other conclusion that he's clearly admitting something by not talking about it, right? I mean, I just don't see how you can possibly come to any other conclusion from the words that the guy's saying.
Pouring through all those streams to, show plenty of evidence that I'm human.
Someone said, what would need to happen for his name to be cleared? I don't see how his name can be cleared at any point in time, because it's clear that something went on, right? We're past debating.
As good
that.
as anyone. I don't like talking about that, and I don't like admitting that because a lot of times I act like an idiot. Play against me in a fair game, and I will destroy you.
Mhm.
Well, I will accept as many challenges as possible.
That's what I want to hear.
My new motivation now, like I said, I have never had any desire to be a name. It's way too late for that. I'm like, my name is out there, and I'm like, it makes me nauseous. But I am confident in my abilities. I know who I used to play back in the day, and I can play with anyone. And when it comes to who I'm playing against, as far as I'm not saying I want to go out and play Garrett and
Right,
a lot of the best players in the world. I don't want to go and go battle with them,
Right.
but I will play with a lot of the top players.
Sure.
I will play with a lot of mid-level players. I'll play with just about anyone. And while I would prefer to play a heads-up game to where there's no outside influences of people colluding against me,
Right.
like I will welcome almost all challengers to.
Sounds to me like what this guy is saying is that he really believes in his mind that he used to be somebody in poker. And it sounds like he is hanging on to that ideal that because he had success in 2003 and 2004 when the game was much different and he played against certain people, that is still the player he is today. And that he has this extreme desire to be recognized as a crusher, as a great player. Because if you look at all the statements he makes, he consistently brings up the same points over and over and over and over again. And that's why when we saw people initially defend him, they said, oh, he's been a crusher for this long. I go, well, have you played with him? Well, not really. Well, who's telling you he's a crusher? Well, he's telling you he's a crusher. So if you have this guy that repetitively drills into you when you know him, I used to beat Ultimate Bet. I used to beat Ultimate Bet. I used to crush an Ultimate Bet. I played these players. Well, you can only do so much to question the guy if you consider him a friend, but then at some point in time, you just say, okay, whatever, it is what it is. So the people that are supporting him are the people who he's continuously told, I'm a crusher. I'm the best. I win. And then where are those people at now when then faced with the actual hand histories themselves? They're nowhere to be found. So that's what it would seem like to me what's going on out there. Sophie Darling, thank you for all your work, Joe. You're hilarious. Thank you. He's a god. Anthony Hallberg, Joe, my new subscriber to your channel. I wanted to say thank you for all the time and effort you put into Scandi. Made it very entertaining, but also would show just how serious it is. Yes, I think that if you do these for 30 to 40 hours, you need to make it a little bit more entertaining and exciting too. As well. You can't. I mean, it's a serious thing, but at the same time. But at the same time, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Playing me to prove that I'm not just some guy who moved to Sacramento to cheat a live stream. I have been playing for 16 years, 15 of those where I have had no other income other than poker. Based on that, and based on the fact that hundreds of people can vouch for me destroying games everywhere I've been, and the fact that I used to play Pilates.
She brings it up all the time, right? Joel says, Joey, take care of yourself, man. Not worth killing yourself to prove the guy guilty a day early. So I'm not trying to prove the guy's guilty. I'm just trying to go over and make sense of this guy's interview, because I find it incredibly fascinating. I think there's a lot to learn from what his strategy is, why he's saying the things he's saying, why he's phrasing it in these ways, why he keeps repeating it. Like, I mean, I'm just trying to learn exactly where this guy's coming from. And I know he's grasping for straws in a lot of ways, but I just feel like there's a lot to learn from what he's saying. So, but I am going on vacation next week. I'm going to make these 5 videos before I go. So they're going to all come up at the same time, noon. It's going to be a breakdown, a very intense breakdown of Mike Postle's greatest session. So I am taking the next week off, and then after that I'll come back, and we'll be coming back strong. But next week I'm still going to put up content every day, because I want everybody to see this session that he plays, because it's one of the most incriminating sessions of all time.
A lot of times I act like an idiot. Like, I want everyone to think that I'm just some wild, crazy guy who just likes to gamble. And, you know, I literally do, you know, some of these crazy things, and for a story, you know, when I, you know, play these crazy hands, I do.
So he basically talks about a number of different times how he wants people to think he's an idiot, but yet he constantly talks about how he's so good, how he used to play high stakes online, how nobody plays like him. He plays a very unique style. So his words don't add up to me in that way, where he says he wants to come off as an idiot when he clearly wants to also represent himself as a crusher, as a great player. He wants everyone to know he's a great player. He wants everyone to know he's a crusher. So clearly he values being respected for who he sees himself to be as a poker player, and he wants everyone else to know that around him. So this whole idiot narrative thing that he's saying doesn't really make much sense if you look at the other actions that he actually does. When you look at the idea that I don't want to be well known, well, that doesn't make sense when you play on the stream constantly and you're called fucking Jesus. Okay? Those things don't add up. You can just say, hey, I won't play on stream. Hey, I won't be called Jesus. Hey, why don't you call me my fucking name? It's Mike Postle, instead of calling me a god. Just because the game wants to promote you as such doesn't mean you have to go along with it. I go to plenty of things where they, hey, I want to do this, and I tell them, no, let's not fucking do that. Crypto Logician. I have played Postle many hours at Cordova Casino. He loves to discuss being banned from large casinos. He once tried to start a fight between me and his friend. This guy is slime. I mean, I've heard that from other people as well, too. Right? I've heard that he's nice he'll give you the shirt off his back from a few people as well, too. So I give the guy more credit than I think a lot of you guys do. So that's why I'm trying to really pay attention to everything that he says. American Hero Rich owns him here.
A lot of respect for him, and, you know, while, like I said, I love him, there's a lot of players that if anyone plays with for a period of time, they'll be able to take advantage of them. Right. There's things that a lot of the players who play around here do that I exploit, and it kills me to have to talk about it, but I'm forced to.
Well, we all do. I mean, that's what poker is. I mean,
what is he talking about? Literally, poker is about exploiting people. He says it kills him to have to talk about it when... Let's watch another Jeff Boski video. Shout out to Jeff Boski. Go subscribe to his channel, man. What's this video about? Let's see. I like these hand breakdowns. They make it easy. Shout out to Jeff Boski putting this together. This is when he just calls it the straight. The guy's a god, honestly. Just Nicholas Batali, thank you. Story's so addictive. I agree. Why is the story addictive? This is what I'm wondering. Right? Why is the story addictive? What is it addictive about this? Because it seems to me at this point in time, there's certain people that are getting tired of the story in some ways. And it feels like they're getting tired of the story because in their minds, they feel like he's guilty. There's nothing left to go over. There's nothing left to discuss. They don't want to see any more hands. They want to talk about something else. But I think to me, this is the most entertaining story that's going to happen. Like what? Somebody fucking final table at the World Series Poker Europe event? Does people really care about that? I literally hear no discussion about any of that at all. Right? So why are people so interested to move on from this is kind of what I'm wondering. In that you get to watch a person own people left and right on the live stream over and over again. So I find it fascinating that people wouldn't want to see this through, that would want to move on from it. Let's get past it. Let's talk about something else. And there's still uncertain things, right? People think he's cheating, but look at Jeff Boski. Look at these aviators, man. My man's rocking his own. He's got the fucking dog tag on. He's got the aviators. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, guys, if you are a girl and you pull up to a date and the guy is rocking some fucking slick back hair with the sides just a little up because the gel may not have put it down, and he's rocking the sick aviators with the fucking dog tag, you're in for a hell of a night. I'm going to tell you that. This is the kind of guy he'll take you mini golfing, take you to get some ice cream, take you to the backseat of his car, and he's going to try to pound you out, man. I'm telling you right now. I'm just saying. Listen, just shout out to Jeff. I like Jeff. I'm just saying, this look right here, this is the kind of guy that takes you behind a dark building, puts you in the back seat, and gets to work. I'm just telling you right now, man. You a girl, none of us girls, we're not pulling up with anybody like that. Shout out to Jeff Boski, man. He'll probably tell you the same thing, I bet. Listen, I used to rock this same look. I used to literally rock the fucking dog tag. All right? I didn't rock these aviators. These are next level. These are pretty sick. But I used to have hair like this. I'm telling you, man, this used to be my outfit right here. This used to be me. Where's my Instagram picture of me? I have a photo of me just like this. Hold on. I mean, not with the aviators. The aviators are fucking NLGTO. Where's that photo of me on my Instagram page here? Look. I literally look at this. Look. Watch this, guys. Compare me and Jeff Boski and see what you guys think here. All right, bam. So I have right here the dog tag, the crazy hair. I'm a little more jacked than Jeff Boski, that's for sure. At this point in time, I'm like a fucking gorilla man right here. Juice Man 315 was out in full extreme. So you have this guy, right? If one of these two guys pulls up to see your girlfriend or your daughter, you're in trouble. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay? If this guy right here or Jeff Boski pull up, dressed like this or dressed like that, you're in some fucking trouble with your daughter. You better keep her at home. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, it was HGH. I was fucking juiced up right there, man. I was rolling. I was a strong motherfucker back then, man. I just looked like a fucking all gorilla man right there, man. Look at that fucking those shoulders like popping out. My God, that was when I was obsessed with working out back then, guys. I do investigations. All I did was live in the gym. This is it, man. All I would do was live in the gym. Look at that fucking. I was tan, baby. Listen, man. You know, your boy's got to stay tan, man. 21 years old, you got to stay tan. How the girls gonna like you? You don't rock in a tan. Come on, man. But yeah, I worked out all the time, man. I was fucking getting after it for sure. We're beasting it hard. Jersey Poppy, listen, man. It just was what it was. It is what it is. Okay. We're past that point in our time nowadays. Let's get back to this Postle interview while he's just owning people.
And, he goes, I give a lot of action because
I ain't no tan, I'm orange. No, man. I'm outside all the time.
I play with people where
I'm thirsty for you. You're full of yourself, Joey. Anyone who rocks that looks a D-bag. I was 21 years old. I was the fucking man. Okay? Get some confidence about yourself. All right? kind of person puts himself down? I mean, I know it looked ridiculous in the moment, but what kind of person looks at himself, puts himself down like that? I don't know, whatever.
I'm at, and I'm able to give that kind of
Can't listen to
action
Matusow
to get
talk
paid
anymore in
and
this
stuff.
interview.
So
Shut up, Mike the Mouth. I can't listen to him anymore.
he accused me of something. I'm like, bitch, okay, let's go play. You think I'm a cheater. And that's kind of like what you just said. I respect that.
Yeah, I'm going back to my old school online mentality.
What is he talking
Yeah.
about? He played online in 2007, right? It just doesn't make sense. What does he keep going back to 12 years from now? It just doesn't make much sense to me.
Of having like having all the confidence in the world, challenging people, and I used to chat a lot in the in the chat box online. I would do anything or say anything to get a player to stay playing me. If they took a buy-in or two off of me, I would say some of the craziest things to get them to continue playing so I can get my money back.
Well,
And most of the time I did. And this is like,
Okay, why would he go on this podcast, guys? Does anyone have any sort of logical explanation to this? Like, is there no logic behind this? I'm trying to come up with some explanation for why he would go on the podcast. I do. Someone said, Genocide said he's an idiot. Is that really what it is? I just... I think the interview was for his somebody related to him. I think the interview was done to appease, because he says he doesn't have a big crowd, he only has a few friends. I think that he did that interview for a handful of people in his life. And now I don't know if he thought that it would get to this point or not. Right? Like, I don't know if he thought a lawsuit was coming. I don't know if he thought these things would happen. I think he thought that nothing would take place because he had his inside man who was covering up on the investigations. I don't know. I think he just fucking mind fucked himself so much that he thought, like, this is what's going to happen.
you give me all my hand histories, and finally, I'll be able to show.
David George Gorilla, what, at 165? Bro, listen, man, I was fucking like 205 right there, okay? Let's calm down, David George. All right? If you're going to talk about my size when I'm 21 years old, my all-white outfit with my dog chain on, you got to post at least 25 pictures of yourself for us to break down on stream. David George, please post your Facebook link. We're going to break you down on stream right now. Please, David George. Please. Ian says, then he goes in the booth and asks them what happened. Yeah, Ian, we're talking about the PLO hand. I agree.
That, I'm guessing I lost anywhere between 200,000 and 500,000.
Here we go.
That was taken from me in the Ultimate Bet scandal.
So here he says,
I believe.
he says that he lost 200,000 to 500,000 in Ultimate Bet.
All the players who knew me on there were constantly checking up on me. Like, dude, how much did you get? Right. I got 44,000. Oh, I got 145,000. I got 455,000. Like everyone was giving me, all these numbers from 5 to 6 figures, and I'm sitting there.
How
with
does he
nothing.
not know if it's 200 to 500? It seems like a pretty. It seems like something that you'd have an answer to, right? 200 to 500K. How can it be that much? 200 to 500? You didn't know? Huh.
Right.
But I get the phone call from the head of the investigation into refunding people, and he tells me straight up, Mike, you are the most profitable player on Ultimate Bet of all time. Can you please, justify to me how you were cheated if you were the most profitable player? And that gives, unfortunately, that gives an idea of how much money I made online back then. Going back to why I'm not.
So let me get this straight. What he's saying, right? The investigator calls him. Apparently, this is a shitty fucking investigator because the investigator's floored. The investigator goes, "How could you have got cheated? You're the biggest winner on the site." Can you imagine me being the investigator? Be like, Mike, listen, your biggest winner. I went through all the hands. How could you be cheated? Well, listen, I'm the investigator. I should know if you got fucking cheated or not, right? I don't understand. You're the investigator. What he said doesn't make sense. The investigator should know whether he was cheated or not from his investigation. He's the guy in charge of the refund. Shouldn't he have gone through and be like, oh, well, here's what it was? It doesn't make any sense what he's saying, right? Investigator was Vincent Adultman. Is that a real name? Who's the investigator and how do we get him on the podcast? Is the investigator Stu Unger? Vincent. I was hoping that was the actual name. Vincent Adultman, you're an idiot. Oh my God. Who was the investigator? I want to get this guy on the podcast. I mean, I don't trust any of those people anyway, so.
Not always in other games. I talked about, the responsibilities of being a father, and the fact that I'm a single father with full custody. It's, I can't live on a poker table. Like I have a life beyond that. One thing that I forgot to mention earlier is, everyone's like, oh, well, Mike he usually, leaves the table or cashes out, right after the stream ends or shortly thereafter. And it's
either going to be blood clot or his daughter. Let's hear which one it is.
Well, yeah. Like, I have a babysitter at home, and she wants to go home.
Does she?
Right.
Like, I either need to get home so she can get home, or I need to go pick her up from the sitters and get her home so, she can get to bed and get up at a decent hour or go to school in the morning. So I need to go get her and do this. And, again, people who don't have kids, they're completely removing that from the equation for some reason and not realizing that, it's like everyone wants to judge me for, not doing things.
Yeah, let's get the babysitter on the podcast. Let's find Mike Postle's babysitter, get her on the fucking show. Let's find it.
Things. And it's like everyone's in a different situation. Everyone has different responsibilities. Everyone has different circumstances, and everyone has different desires.
Right.
And my desires don't match up with others. I don't have a need to be a multimillionaire. Like, obviously it would be nice.
Okay, so he says, I don't have the need to be a multimillionaire. Has anyone here called him a multimillionaire? No. Maybe he has the need to be a 100,000-aire, though. Like, no one said he wants to be a multimillionaire. No one's ever claimed that he wants to be a multimillionaire, I don't think, right? I don't think anyone. So he's referencing why he plays low stakes. Because he doesn't want to be a multimillionaire.
But I'm more intent on making enough to support me and my daughter and have fun and take the vacations that I take and just continue playing and paying the bills.
Does he take a lot of vacations? I thought he said he doesn't travel a lot. Now he takes a lot of vacations? In South America? Philippines, you mean? Is he going to the Philippines a lot? Do we know that? Where's he traveling to? Where are the vacations at? I don't know.
And literally living my life like that. That's what I am comfortable with. That's what I'm used to.
Is he going on the ladyboy grind in Bangkok? Are you guys fucking serious? No way. He is not going on that ladyboy grind in Bangkok. Come on, guys. You know about the ladyboy grind? Yeah, we a lot of ladyboys in Bangkok. Yeah, in Thailand. Yeah. You know what a ladyboy is? It's a man who dressed up as a woman. Ladyboy. It's popular there. But then you don't know. And then whatever, it is what it is. I don't have to explain it to you. Okay. My girlfriend knows what a ladyboy is. Come on.
That's, a lot of people love change and a lot of people don't like change. When it comes to me, I'm super happy doing what I do. Acquiring more money isn't going to all of a sudden make my life so much better because everything I've done and everything that I have, I am completely content with. So, like everyone's saying, oh, why doesn't he go play here? Why doesn't he go, why doesn't he live in Vegas?
Who's saying, why doesn't he live in Vegas? People are saying, wouldn't you take your, like, it's not even what people are saying. People are saying, why don't you go play in Vegas at a little bit higher stakes because you're so good? Because you played on Ultimate Bet in 2003. I think that's what people are saying. Like, it just kind of makes things up here.
No, first of all, I have to live in California. It's court ordered for me to live in California. And I'm not allowed to move further away from my daughter's mother, without permission, because, she still needs to be within a reasonable a distance to, have visitation with her daughter.
Right.
And I'm happy, I'm happy in Northern California. There's, there was someone sent me a clip of, Joey talking about how, beautiful it is in, these parts, wine country and Reno, and you got the mountains, and, you're kind of close to
David George, post your Facebook link or never comment again, buddy. I'm sorry. We've come to this point in our relationship where you either have to post your Facebook link in the YouTube chat or we can't communicate anymore, man. Martin, I know I've done this, but I'm trying to take a deeper look with a different lens right now. I'm trying to pick up on something.
Within a couple hours of everything.
I feel like there's I'm missing
here,
this five or six times.
Here, and I'm perfectly content here.
So he's basically trying to justify why he doesn't travel, why he doesn't take his skill to anywhere else. Right? Okay.
And smash. Oh, let me ask something.
Mm-hmm.
There's one thing that I heard that's going around now. They're saying the only time you lost in the stream is when some guy was out of town. What's his name? Justin Carachis or something?
Yeah, Justin. Yes.
Is he?
Yep.
Okay, let's see how he answers this question.
Once we go through all the streams,
right,
and calculate what I'm actually in for,
right,
like these graphs and numbers.
Okay, so clearly Justin's involved, right? Because look how he answered that question, right? He does not acknowledge Justin at all. He says, when we go through the graphs, you'll see that the numbers are wrong. He doesn't say anything about the guy at all, just ignores him.
Mike, don't you ever shut up? Because you like to watch Matt lose.
And calculate.
There's one thing that I heard that's going around now. They're saying the only time you lost in the stream is when some guy was out of town. What's his name? Justin Carachis or something?
Yeah, Justin. Yes.
Is he?
Yep. Once we go through all the streams,
right,
and calculate what I'm actually in for,
right,
like these graphs and numbers and whatever they came up with of 250K in a year,
mm-hmm.
and saying it's mostly 1-3, like it's so far off. It's absolutely incredible to me for them to, I don't want to say it's, lazy reporting or lazy investigating.
Right.
Can I sue him for this? Can I sue him for this real quick? Am I allowed to? He just called the investigation lazy. Can I file is that possible?
But they didn't think about any of the variables that I mentioned earlier, as far as the buy-ins, when they're calculated, the fact that we add chips onto it that aren't, into that stack right away, the fact that our win-loss totals are, they're wrong. They're not manipulated, but they're what they show is that they're wrong.
Right.
And
have they talked about this a lot? Like, is this a common thing Mike Postle discusses, how the facts are wrong and he's not up that much? It seems to me like he likes to build himself up as a god. It's personality, right? So that he's saying that the stones itself, was inflating the wins. He did not answer anything to do with Justin Caritis. So he's saying that they inflate the wins and that it's lazy reporting and that he's not actually up that much money, which matters a little bit, but doesn't matter in terms of him staring at his crotch and playing the way that he plays in all of these hands. So he keeps going on and on about this.
The other thing that I haven't mentioned yet either, as far as, why their numbers are off, when it comes to my chip stack, they've been told to err on the side of high.
So now he blames it on.
And I'm gonna give an example here. In the last game that I played with Berkey and Marley and Christian, again, I'm going all by memory here, which isn't always the best when.
So if his memory isn't the best, how does he know that the chip stacks were wrong? How does he know that's not right if he's going off memory? So maybe his memory's poor. He just said, I have bad memory. Didn't he just say that? So why should we believe he knows what he's talking about the chip stacks then?
When, trying to remember things that are irrelevant to me. But I want to say that my stack size at the end of that last 10, 25, 50 game had me at 26 or 27,000. We quit within a very, very, very short period of time after the stream ended, where we stopped playing. And nothing.
78 KB, I know that. I'm aware of that too. But has nothing to do with the relevant thing to talk about. He just called me irrelevant? Did he really? Did I miss that?
In a very, very, very short period of time.
No, he said that he doesn't remember things that are irrelevant to him.
Where we stopped playing.
That's what he said.
And nothing really, I want to say, an orbit or two. And I cashed out 22,000 and change.
Oh my God, who gives a fuck?
Okay, what is this player's stack?
Or is it
As myself and others, were even, talking about it long before this happened about, I lost 5 sessions. I've lost 5 sessions that I know of in the last, since, definitely since June. It was June or July. I had lost 2 or 3 in a row.
Poor fucking guy.
And then
that's his justification.
Short period after that, I lost 2 or 3 in a row.
After the hustle changed.
Knowing that for a fact and seeing that I supposedly won 62 out of 69 sessions, I know positively that their data is completely wrong.
Okay.
And
so he knows positively the data is wrong. Does he know positively that he didn't cheat? Does he positively know he didn't have access to the cards?
Not
He doesn't
their
say
fault.
that.
Joey and Doug have done a good job.
Thank you, Mike. Let me run that back one more
doing
time.
certain things.
Hold on a second. Let me run that back again one more time. Hold on a second.
okay?
And and I want to say this: it's not their fault.
Thank you.
Joey and Doug
Thank you.
have done a good job
Thank you.
of doing certain things as far as what's given to them
Thank you.
by what the Stones live stream is showing.
Thank you.
They've done that part.
Thank you. It's very nice. Let me run that again.
And and I want to say this: it's not their fault. Joey and Doug have done a good job.
Thank you.
Of doing certain things as far as what's given to them by what the Stones live stream is showing.
Thank you.
They've done that part.
Thank you.
And they've done what they.
I think he's innocent. I don't think he did a damn thing. I believe the guy, man. Listen, he makes a good point. I think he's an innocent guy. He's an innocent man. He's an innocent man. I'm telling you right now. Listen to him. Is he innocent?
He's innocent. Now,
Is that
there
good?
you go.
Is he
You
innocent?
told me earlier, I'm innocent of this. I mean, you're innocent, right? That's what you're claiming. right?
Absolutely.
At 1,000%
Absolutely.
innocent, correct?
10,000%.
There you go. So
Can I go? Can I go 100,000%?
100,000% he's innocent. Now,
Is that
there
good?
you go. That's his word. And this is why I
To that.
right.
And
I believe him.
and I want to say this: it's not their fault. Joey and Doug
Thank you.
have done a good job
Thank you.
of doing certain things as far as what's given to them by what the Stones live stream is showing. They've done that part, and they've done
Thanks, Mike.
what they have, what they could about monitoring some of the add-ons, whether that's with cash or chips, I don't know. It's a lot harder to track the chip add-ons since we're not calling a chip runner. But I know from what I was told anyway that, some of the rebuys are accounted for. But
Gotcha.
for a fact, there's a lot of rebuys.
So he
that
goes
are
once again with
not
the rebuy stuff.
an
It's the
initial
same
buy-in
thing.
and then how much I left with.
It's the same thing over and
Get
over
a
again.
shitload of money. I'm, towards a lot of, a handful of individuals in regards to this.
Right.
But I mean, I've gotten to a point where I'm so hurt among other things that I can't describe. Like I'm completely numb to that now, and all I want to do is be understanding of it. Like I get why, and I think a lot of people know why Joey and Doug, took this on, and
No, we don't. I'd like to know why Joey and Doug took this on. Why do we take it on? Chris Shaka with the donation, $24.99. Thank you, Chris. Crotch Theory Optimal is a way of life. # Carl. # Carl Theory Optimal. Let's listen to that.
why Joey and Doug, took this on, and as far as spinning a narrative, they did the best they could to tell a story based on what very, very limited information they could gather from watching the live stream.
Gotcha.
Is what they did. And in doing so, I'm, along with everyone that I'm hoping will help me with this, we're going to be able to show that their numbers are wrong, and they're wrong for a reason, and there's a number of variables attached to that. And once the numbers are reran, again, going back to those numbers, if we're going off strictly their data of win rate, then there would be there would be a 99.9% chance, I would think, of something weird going on.
Right.
If we're going off strictly their data of win rate, then there would be there would be a 99.9% chance, I would think, of something weird going on.
Right.
The fact that their numbers are considerably wrong, and there's a lot of things that they
that's
don't
really what you
account
gotta
for.
go out and prove, I guess. Is
It's more like there's all this 99 to 1,000% of, he definitely did something wrong. I'm very anxious to show. Give me time, please.
okay.
There's a lot to do, but I'm talking to others, not you.
Yeah. No, I'm going to go out on the limb, and as a person that's conducting this interview, I'm going to say what I said on Twitter.
All right,
He said,
can't listen to Mike.
"Oh, I don't give a shit."
Oh yeah, I'm anxious to show everything. I got my keys right here. I know where the hat is. It hasn't been touched.
The hat hasn't been touched. I mean, I would just, I would.
I wear it often.
Yeah.
Every rumor and theory out there is it's it's a bunch of people watching things online and coming up with just trying to be the first ones to come up with some potential theory
Right.
that can fit the narrative.
Right.
And it's in talking about all that stuff, when I'm able to to meet you in person, I'll gladly bring the hat. I'll gladly bring whatever articles of clothing and my
Listen, you
keys
don't.
and
I don't really.
whatever they
Yeah.
want to see.
Yeah.
I'll turn the hat inside out, or turn it up.
That's the funniest part of the interview. I'll turn the hat inside out. Oh, the hat's good. It's clear. It's like, what's going on? Oh man, I mean, this is crazy.
Upside down, show the deformity, or that little clump of whatever in there that moves around a little bit.
I want to see his asshole. I want to see if we got a loose asshole, then we know there may have been the vibrator in there. That's what I want to see. If the asshole is clean, he's going to get my vote of innocence. If he can prove that he was not using Vato, vibrating as theory optimal, to relay signs to me, he just said he'd happily do it. He just said he would do it. He just said he wouldn't mind it. Right? He just said that. If he comes over and shows, I believe him. That's fine. I'm just joking. I'd still have some questions, but it would remove it. It's not big though. It doesn't space it open. No? How would you know? How would you know? If you're a guy, right, and you have one of those things in your ass, it's probably gonna juice your ass up a little bit, right? It's probably gonna make your ass a little wider, right? Well, if he's wearing it, he might have been wearing it for a year. We don't know he didn't even address it in the interview. Why didn't he bring it up in the interview? I don't understand. He didn't point it out in the interview, or he did say something vibrating, and he kind of laughed about it. He didn't even say it wasn't true or not.
Theory,
yeah,
that can fit the narrative,
right?
And it's in talking about all that stuff, like when I'm able to to meet you in person, like I'll gladly bring the hat. I'll gladly bring whatever articles of clothing.
I don't really
whatever they want to see. Like
that's what I want to see.
Like I'll turn the hat inside out, or turn it upside down, show the the deformity, or that little clump of whatever in there that moves around a little bit. Like I like it's.
I was not going to be the person that got on Twitter and said he 1,000% cheated without hearing your side. Okay, that was it. I just wasn't going to be that person, and I'm still not going to be that person. I'll let people keep going over things. I'll let you start going over things on your own, and I'll let them listen to this interview, and they can make a decision. You know what I'm saying? Leave you out.
Just one quick thing to add.
Sure.
Something that I kind of forgot about. In regards to a lot of my expressions and burst outs and blurt outs and laughs.
Here we go.
Like,
here we go.
There's a lot of he's ridiculing his opponents. He's he's rough.
Well, I do that. I do that to everybody. What's the difference?
Don't interrupt him.
That I have ever. Yeah, we joke around a lot. Like, that's what we try to do. Example of how poker should be. Poker is supposed to be fun.
You know what? I should clip out this part of the interview and put it like Mike Postle had some nice words to say about the future of poker. And while I do not agree with the activities he did, I think his message is still pretty sound, and we should follow Mike Postle's advice. I'm going to clip it out right now for Twitter.
That's what we try to do on the stream. And that's what I've been asked to do on the stream is do the best I can to put on a show.
Here we go.
Be a good, trying to be a good, example of how poker should be. Like, it's not, it shouldn't be all hoodies and hat and or hoodies and sunglasses, headphones.
I agree.
Like, there's more to poker. Yeah, there's more to poker than that. Like, poker is supposed to be fun.
Yep.
Like, instead of everyone worrying so much about stats and win rates and who's bet, like the ego and the competition, all that in poker, it's ridiculous.
I have my favorite saying, man. Egos will break you, cards will make you. That's my favorite saying, because I used to have the biggest ego, so I know. And I got humbled.
Yeah.
And then I got sick, much humbled.
That reminds me. I've been asked later on when I get to play these other players, heads up that I need to be naked and among other things,
Yeah.
when we play to confirm that I don't have
That's
any,
funny.
any of these crazy
Well,
devices on me.
I
But
just
the
want-
new one is like a
I want your
Chinese device or something.
Yeah, I want to see your name cleared because something like this could really be damaging to poker.
Yeah, those of you who know me and have known me for, like, if any of you want to, if any of you want to help human plenty of times on the stream, needed to be, proven or at, we can start raising that, level of doubt to where
I'm ready for the level of doubt to be raised here.
they're allowed to go on winning streaks.
I know.
They're allowed to,
yeah.
go periods of time where they make a lot of right reads, and when they do, like, going through a crazy streak and being right. Like, how many times have you seen, walk by anyone who's in a casino, walk by a roulette wheel and seen, red or black hit, 10, 12, 15, 20 times in a row?
Sure.
Like, those things happen in our industry, in the gambling world. We have the potential to be right or wrong numerous numbers of times over, over a period of time.
Right.
Like, those things happen. And when you include skill and a high level of skill with a game that still has an incredible amount of luck to it,
Mm-hmm.
like, crazy anomalies happen.
Yeah.
And, like to just look at certain numbers and say, well, like, Veronica made the statement, well, 95% of players don't do what Mike does. Like,
No, Veronica.
no, Veronica.
No, Veronica. No one does what I do. Let's play this one more time. No, Veronica.
Don't do what Mike does.
No, Veronica.
No, Veronica. Less than 1% of players do what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because I'm.
You hear how he laughs?
I don't have
He's
a
less
method
than
to the
1%. Yeah, I wonder why. You're right. I believe him. I believe him. He's right. He's not lying.
Like, no, Veronica.
No, Veronica. Listen to the laugh.
Less than 1% of players do what I'm doing.
He can't even say it with a straight face. Less than 1%. He's.
What Mike does. Like, no, Veronica. No, Veronica. No, Veronica. Less than 1% of players do what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a method to the madness. I don't use any systems. I don't use any charts. When players like us who play strictly off of feel and strictly off of instincts, and, like, again, I have the success that I have because I've been playing the players that I play with on the stream.
Oh, here we go.
I've been playing with for years.
Okay.
People out there, playing the same home game, the same players all the time. Like,
Well, I played the 5-5 game recently, and I
crushed
fucking crushed it. And I'm like, man,
going back to the win rates, our 1-3.
He goes back to win rates
and I'm
again.
glad you said that because the 1% of our game, I play the same style of poker.
So the
regardless.
win rate thing's right. He likes a logical case for it, right? He's got to go through the data. He's got to check it out and see, okay, what's right, what's wrong. We watched a few sessions. I watched some sessions off stream as well too. I did notice in that 2 of the sessions that the numbers were off. I also noticed in other sessions that the numbers were right. So he's basically saying that the numbers are off $200,000. That he added on for $200,000 over the course of the streams. That wasn't accounted for.
Stream, no. I play more off stream than I do on stream.
right.
Is that
That's
true?
one narrative that I knew could not be true.
One quick thing that I needed to say as well, speaking on health. Tim was one of the first to point this out. I mean, I developed a blood clot in 2008 from playing too much online poker.
I believe
I
it.
literally got at 30. I think I was 30. Let's see. Yeah, at 32 years old. At 32 years old, I got a blood clot in my leg that literally went from the bottom of my calf all the way up to my midsection. That's how nasty this blood clot was. And like, Tim knows. I went to the hospital and they were like the lady doing the ultrasound gasped and said, if you didn't come in here, like you would not have lived very much longer, because like I'm not even supposed to tell you this.
I gotta download
but
this
thing
video
runs
for sure.
from here to here, and she pointed to
Wait,
the bottom
I know
of
why I
my
downloaded
calf,
this one.
all the way up.
It's Mike
in front
Postle.
midsection,
We downvote this one for
like,
sure.
In in that special area of where the clot was.
I
And
remember why
how
we downvoted
far
this.
it stretched. I prided myself on being, a very good
I
athlete.
like this video.
Sorry,
John Little.
I
This
play
is
a
a
lot
downvote
of
for me.
golf, and at 32 years old, from
like
playing
this video at
poker, playing way too much poker. I mean, I literally got a life-threatening health condition.
Wow.
And I mean, if there's anything that tells you need to think about what you're doing, it was that.
Yeah, of course.
And I have played a lot less poker since that happened. And again, after the blood clot, I started playing. I kept playing online, but I only played part time, and tried to exercise and move around, and not be sitting for hours on end.
I just don't what was going on here. He just says a bunch of words, and you're just supposed to listen to him. And yeah, this is the point when I listened to the second interview, I just had enough. I can't even listen to this anymore.
You don't have
Well,
to.
I have a major health issue.
Yeah. You don't have that. I'm gonna jump off.
Okay.
Huckweed said, my guess is Postle thinks there will never be any smoking gun type proof, and everyone will move on to the next thing at the moment he can disappear to nominee and the minute again. Little does he know how wrong he is. I agree. The way that they're talking is that they make it sound like that they don't think there is any proof, which is they've both kind of been doing that, which is rather interesting. But yeah, it definitely distracts from the main subject. I mean, it's all, yeah, man, it's all too much to listen to, right? I couldn't, after I listened to the last one, I just couldn't take it anymore, man. I really couldn't. I really cannot take it anymore. So he just distracts from the main points. He repeats himself over and over again. He doesn't address the main things, which is the actual hand histories himself. He doesn't address the actual sessions themselves. He doesn't talk about anything like that. He just continues to go on and on. If you guys think that Mike Postle may have did something wrong, make sure you smash the like button on YouTube, guys, okay? Like Harb said. But yeah, I don't know what happened. The lawsuit's a long time, guys, coming, so we don't know what's going to happen here. We don't know how long it's going to take. We don't know when it's going to go down. People are still talking about the guy because it's incredibly fascinating. It's incredibly interesting. What else are we going to talk about? Who won the $600 World Series of Poker Europe 6-Max tournament? Does anybody give a fuck about that? No. Nobody cares about who won that, unfortunately. I would like to care, but no one else cares. So what else is going on in poker? Let's go to Reddit Poker and see what else is happening in poker right now that we can talk about, right? So the options are Mike Postle or what? What are we gonna talk about, right? Like there's really not much interesting things going on right now. I'd love to talk about anything interesting, but this is the most interesting thing going on in poker right now. So that is why we're talking about it so much, is because it is very interesting. Talk about how shitty EU World Series Poker was. I haven't been following it, so I don't know if it's shitty or not shitty. I don't know. Why is it shitty? Right? So let's see what else is happening in Reddit Poker, right? Let's see. This guy says I'm a fucking loser. I can't believe how delusional I've been these past 4 years. It took my girlfriend leaving me to realize I've had a serious gambling problem. I'm going to be a professional. What I'm losing is just part of the learning cost. I tell her as I blow another $500 to add on to the $28,000 I've already wasted. The days I'd go without showering and barely eating. The days I'd stay home all day and ignore my friends. Just the price I have to pay to get to the next level. Playing 16 hours a day, barely sleeping because I want to get back on the computer and play. I sold something I treasured so much 2 days ago for pennies just so I can have money to deposit. That's not the only thing I've sold just to play poker. And I'll never get those things back. Wow. Rent's due on the 30th. Phone bill due on 27th. Maxed out credit cards behind 2 months. Is going to collections if I don't make payment on 25th. Money I have to pay for those things, zero as of 30 minutes ago when I blew my last dollar trying to hopelessly make it all back. Yeah, I'm a fucking loser and a degenerate, and now it's about to knock me out cold. I don't know why I'm making this post. I guess it's because I have no one else since they all stopped talking to me, and because I guess you guys would be the only ones to understand since this is a poker subreddit. God help me. So, first of all, listen, brother. Your bankroll management's obviously terrible, right? So your bankroll management's really bad, and you're down what, 30,000? It's nothing. In the grand scheme of things, that's absolutely nothing. There are plenty of ways to make money out there. There's the internet out there. You can make a lot of money. This guy's not trolling. He's very serious too. Okay, give me the self-help book. Can you help me the self-help book down there? I'll give you my self-help book, okay? Because I'm telling you right now, where you're at, we've all been there before. Okay, 30K seems like a lot, but it really is not a lot of money. Okay. Give me a self-help book. What are you talking about? Please, what are you doing? She's like, I'm trying to help this fucking guy out. Give me the self-help book. I have a gambling self-help book for you. Somebody made for me when I was 21 years old. Can I have the self-help book? What's right there? We need it. This poor guy's he's fucking gonna hurt himself or something like that. Here you go, buddy. Here's my self-help book. I'm gonna give this to you, okay? Here it is. Let me blow it up for you, buddy. If you like this, if you want me to give this guy the self-help book, smash the like button on here, guys. Look at Joe's self-help book right here, okay? So I'll send this to you. This is made for me when I was a kid, and I was 21 years old, and I would go lose all my money at the Majestic Star, and I would come back to work, and I borrowed money from my mom, a few $100, and I was down about $500, and they told me I had a gambling problem. And you know what? I told them to go fuck off. I did. I didn't listen, clearly, right? I'm here. Here I am. But the point is that I learned bankroll management, okay? My friend, Joe, I made this book for you out of love. I made it for you because I care. And because you're my best friend in the world. I hope you realize that. I hope you don't get mad or take this offensively. I'm just trying to help in the best way I know how. I want you to get your life on track, and I want you to reach all those amazing goals that you've set for yourself. And I know you can do it. The only person stopping you is yourself. Listen, Castle Lev 55, the only person stopping you is yourself. Okay? It's your approach to the game. It's your approach to getting better. It's your approach to studying. It's your approach to playing sessions. The only thing stopping you is yourself. The only thing getting in your way is yourself. You need to refine your process instead of continuing to make the same mistake every single time. Castle Left 55, you got to refine your process. Okay? Drop down stakes. Learn bankroll management. Learn game selection. Learn how these things work. Learn how to get better at something, anything. All right? Or you got to quit playing. You got a gambling problem. Okay? And I'll send you the book right now. And I'll make you fucking sign this. I will not borrow any money from any of my family or friends. I will get myself back on my own 2 feet. Once I do that, I will pay off any debt that I owe. I'm not signing that. What are you talking about? I mean, back in the day, I was like, I'm playing poker. Like, forget that. I'm going to keep playing. There's some other things in here for you, buddy, okay? I'm ready to give it to you. From now on, when I feel like gambling instead, I will do one of these things. I'm going to keep playing poker. Maybe you shouldn't listen to me. Maybe you should keep playing. I don't really know what to tell the guy, man. Refine the process. All right? Refine the process, please. Or find yourself a stream manager, go up to them and tell them, hey, I'd like to collude with you to get access to the cards in real time. And I'm going to try not to be a fucking idiot about this so I can get away with it as long as I possibly can in order to pay off my debt that I have. Now, that's an option, too. We don't recommend that option here. Okay? Because it's a lot of the line. Don't do that. Okay? We've already seen someone try that. Didn't work out. Don't do that. Look at these comments. These comments are very nice in here. All right, so that's what's going on in Reddit, right? We got a guy that says, I'm a fucking loser. What else we got right here? We got a meme that says flopping 2 pair, turning a boat. Jesus, okay. I mean, very, very low quality, low effort meme, okay? So I see nothing happening, right? Mike Postle in The Prisoner's Dilemma. What's this? The more I read and watch the evidence against Mike Postle, the more I personally convinced that he had absolutely cheated or someone or multiple people helped. Based on the things I've read, listened to, and watched, I'm of the opinion it was at least 3 people that did it. Okay. All right, Magnum Chungus, let's listen to you. With that said, I think we as a community are very likely to be disappointed in the outcome unless some direct incontrovertible evidence is found. We all know and understand the math behind it and just how improbable. All right. I'm going to done reading that guy's post. Okay, so here's what's happening. Phil Ivey, 4-bet with Jack 6 of spades. Jamie Gold was on the hills over 10 years ago. A lot happening, guys, right? Like, so you guys want to talk about this or you want to talk about Postle? What do you guys want to talk about? I'm open to other things. I just don't see anything else to talk about. Oh, a guy made a live 1-2 bingo chart. Perfect. So that's where I sit at with things. I don't really know exactly what we're supposed to talk about, unfortunately. So, but luckily next week I'm not going to be making any content because I'm already going to have stuff made, and it's going to be a fire series that people are going to greatly enjoy, and it's going to be Mike Postle's greatest session that's coming out. More of the self-help book. The self-help book's definitely a good book, man. The Ivy case video will be up in the week after. So,
Forget your.
I don't even know where to begin.
Okay.
Where am I
All I
going on
can say
vacation?
is
Somewhere
that-
secret.
I mean, this started with a lot of
Shout out Doug Brown.
hatred
Much love, brother.
towards me for, I guess, the whole making me into some reality show star on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Except it was done in.
Is Postle a reality star on TV?
live
What is he talking about?
Okay.
Is he a reality star? Like, did I miss this? Is Mike Postle a reality star and I didn't know this? I'm just really confused. What exactly is he a reality star and I didn't know?
And all
Maybe
the
he
names
is.
that have been given to me by others,
Right.
and like I do not like. I don't like positive attention, like compliments. I just get shy. Like, I've never wanted attention or the spotlight.
Joey, what are you
or
gonna do when
anything
Postle
like
comes
that.
knocking at your
Like,
door?
Except for with my close friends and and having a good time. I'm
Excited.
Right.
I'm not trying to make a name for myself. I'm not out.
I'd like to see Mike. I'd like to speak to him in person.
I'm not out trying to, I don't know, pad stats or.
Well, if you were, you'd be
or-
playing in much higher games, and you'd be playing big tournaments. And like Tim Burt said to me, he said, "You guys have been friends 15."
Been a consistent winning player. For
He just repeats
my
himself over and
entire
over again,
poker
basically the
career
first part
of
of the
that
interview.
16 years, and unfortunately, I've had, a lot of disregard for.
That makes two of us. Disregard for money.
A major.
Whatever, you guys understand. It's the same fucking shit over and over again. He just repeats it. He says he played the hands. He says it's weird. He basically says the same thing again.
Number that they gave of to.
He says the numbers are wrong again.
Gotcha. About this study out.
A lot of people saw I was in Reno, and let's hope I hit something,
Right.
$1,000, because I had more equity between the two. You realize that
Would I speak to Mike Postle
supposed to be winning
respectfully?
money.
Yes.
Oh, so
Like, I don't even care.
You're supposed to win like $3,000, and you just gave them their money back. Is that
Oh
what
my
you're saying?
god, I can't even listen
Yes.
to this fucking thing.
Well, I don't
And
know
they've
your
done-
political
and they've done-
beliefs, but
1,000 hands to show plenty of clips where I'm losing, punting, making bad calls, making bad folds, whatever it is. Like, there's
so
I
why
think
is
there's
there a
hundreds of
fucking
hands.
narrative
There's hundreds
out
of hands showing that.
Why is there a narrative out there that you've never put a bad chip in, you've never made a wrong decision, and that your win rate is 5 times bigger than Pot Trippers was, and that it's 1,000,000% impossible? Just tell. I mean, like, how is this narrative out there? What are they not looking for?
Yeah. I mean, as far as the why,
Mm-hmm.
the why is to create a story that gets on freaking SportsCenter, to get tens of thousands of views. Like, apparently I've heard it's getting.
Oh, he's heard that.
Wow.
This like in order for this to be a story, they have to spin a story that leads to obvious guilt.
Well, I don't
And
know
they've
your
done-
political
and they've done-
beliefs, but that's what Trump goes through every day, by the way, you know. They spin a story to make it, you know, stick. So
and they've and from what little I've seen, like they're doing I know they're doing a damn good job of twisting all my words, all my reactions. Every time I blurt something out, you know, going through, you know, interviews and taking things completely out of text.
Are we taking things out of context by going over this interview? We literally, I think we may be doing what he's saying right now, because we're going over. Yeah, I know it is the ultimate torture. We're going over the interview and we're not taking things. I'm taking things exactly what he says.
You know, I mean, they are literally like, oh my God, like this whole hat thing. And
yeah, that's what I was just going to ask you. You know, can you address
the-
this hat situation? I mean, this is something that like is really kind of threw me for a real loop. You know, I know that different angles could show different things and different, you know, the way lighting hits or whatever. But have you seen the pictures of the hat thing that's going around?
I have, and honestly, the pictures of the hat are the only thing that I literally have not laughed in however many days it's been, 4 days. You know, it's pretty much. I mean, what's going on is you know, thousands and thousands of people are, you know, looking at every little micro inch of you know, me in the entire area, and it's like, okay, where is he hiding this medieval device? You know, is it is it embedded in his leg or embedded in his crotch?
Yeah, the crotch. Yeah, what's with the crotch? Tell me what the crotch thing is. They're all going about.
Oh yeah, I mean, I naturally, you know, having my left hand under my crotch,
Okay.
I just naturally sit like that often. You know, not something I would ever think that I'd have to talk about, but like I do a lot of things.
Somebody said
I do
to
a lot
me
of
that
things with.
somebody says
I
you're
do a
always
lot of
looking
things
at
with
your
my left
crotch. I'm like, what do you mean he's always looking at his crotch? And I'm just
Crotch
like,
theory
that's
optimal.
what he's doing. He looks at his crotch. I'm like, so what is he getting cards by looking at his crotch? I don't know.
Oh yeah, as far as me looking down, yeah, you know, as far as looking down, a lot of us watch the streams or used to watch the streams on our tablet or phone. Me personally, I am on my phone or tablet, and literally all my friends can vouch for this.
I believe
I'm on
it.
my phone more than anyone. And plus it's 2019. Everyone's on electronic devices.
Right. So that's the point. That's the thing that people have said to me. They've said he's always looking at his crotch or on a device or his phone. So how is he getting all these soul reads where he's making these great folds and great call? I'm fucking fair. I am not.
Guilt.
Well, I don't
And
know
they've
your
done-
political
and they've done-
beliefs, but that's what Trump goes through every day, by the way. You know, they spin a story. You know, I know that different angles could show different things and different.
I mean, what's going on is you know, thousands and thousands of people are. Me personally, I am on my phone or tablet, and
So he doesn't say he doesn't say he's not getting information on his phone. He just says that he goes on his phone to watch the stream. At no point in time does he say, I don't get information on my phone. Right? He didn't say no, I don't use my phone for anything. Right?
All my friends can vouch for this.
I believe
I'm on my phone more than anyone. And plus it's 2019. Everyone's on electronic devices.
Right. So that's the point. That's the thing that people have said to me. They've said he's always looking at his crotch or on a device or his phone. So how is he getting all these soul reads where he's making these great folds and great call? I'm fucking fair. I am not going to fucking hang you to dry if you didn't commit what they're saying that you did. You know, I'm going to remain neutral, and I'm going to give you a fair chance to stick it in their asses if you can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just, you know, that's me, you know. And listen, if you're guilty, you know, you have to live with that. I can't make a decision on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm going to try and go through as much of this as possible in a short sense, because I don't like that attention.
Right. But
buying isn't 500 or 1,000. You can you type like exclamation point which dealer catches it. About offhand, I mean, I need to see it.
Right. I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
There are countless numbers of variables that the majority of people refuse to consider, and that mainly pertains to a lot of the regulars. Like we play together a lot, and
He just repeats himself over and over again these 2 hours.
Saying I'm innocent.
I think I repeat myself when I watch him though too, so it makes sense. Like I can understand how it's easy to repeat yourself.
You got it. I mean, you're gonna just have it. You have to show that it's so at 1,000% that you cheated. Now you do understand that every single person that went out there and said you 1,000% cheated, okay, and you can prove to them that you didn't. I mean, you could sue every one of them for millions and millions of dollars of slandering you. So you told me earlier, I'm innocent of this. I mean, you're innocent, right? That's what you're claiming.
Absolutely.
At 1,000%.
Can he be sued for saying he's innocent? 100,000%.
10,000%.
There you go. So
Can I go 100,000%?
100,000% he's innocent. Now,
Like, is that
there you
good?
go. That's his word. And this is why I tell people to be objective to the situation. You know, I'm not, listen, I am completely neutral. I take no side in this. You know, you say 1,000,000% you're innocent of this. And so you're going to dig through things, and you're going to, I pray, I mean that from the bottom of my heart, that you're able to stick it to everybody and show your innocence. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
there's going to be, no matter what happens, because once a narrative gets out, no matter how much you hostile, tune in tomorrow.
Mike Mel's kind of a I don't know, whatever. David Hunter, Ingram is milking the Postle story harder than Postle milked the field. It's definitely not true, but I think it's a story that needs to be covered, man. Here's what's going to happen: people are going to make comments like that, and then no one wants to talk about it, and then it can go away. The other streams that are going on, people are going to keep being out of line on them. Nothing's going to get changed. Nothing's going to get done. The situation goes away. People stop looking at things. People stop investigating it, and then that's it. It just goes away. That's what people want to have happen with the right. Plus, like, a lot of people think it's bad for poker too, in that having this constantly be talked about as well too. So, guys, is he gonna fucking get Jesus in this hand?
We need to close out.
Is he gonna be able to get Jesus in this hand?
But Joe has the best of it and doesn't give a crap with that. It's second pair.
Let's see if he gets Jesus here.
The deepest front of
Can Mike Postle turn his threes into a bluff here?
I mean, we've had other, like, our big games. I think we've had like $100,000 on the table.
Can Mike Postle? Can Mike Postle win this hand?
I don't know that Mike, in theory, should ever call here because three-handed.
Can Mike Postle win this hand?
Joe be betting here?
He folds.
He's got to have a pair, even if he is a four. He's
A very tight player.
interesting spot.
So his name is actually God in here. That I find this incredible.
Oh, and I refresh it and it kind of catches it up.
playing poker from there.
It's
So
boring
it
watching the
makes
same
it
thing over and
really,
over again if you know he's a cheater.
crazy.
No, I still like seeing how he's gonna do it. Honestly,
Anybody can have anything. Like you see, you have
I still like watching him knowing.
but a lag
Stream
ain't
ain't
one.
one, hit me.
Boom.
I still love watching him knowing how he's gonna get away with it.
I
So
got 99 problems, but
But
the
a lag
stream
ain't
ain't
one.
one, hit me.
Boom.
whatever. I just want to go through the interview, guys. I think that's going to be it. That's going to be my last Mike Postle investigation here for a little bit of time. Live stream. I'm putting up a video series next week. It's going to come out Monday through Friday at noon p.m. Eastern time as well, too. And that's about all we're going to put up here. So, but yeah, people find this interesting, but I think it's time that we end our investigation into Mike Postle. I'm sure we could uncover more things, but I think what's done is done. Will any of that matter? Who really knows? And I guess we just have to let time play out. And yeah, I think that's going to be it with things. So I think that's going to be it with things for right now, but still be back with content. I'll still do some live streams next week too, maybe, but I am going to take a little trip. So I don't know about that. But when I come back from the trip, I'll be back doing live streams. I just don't know what it's going to be about. So I don't know if it's about this or be about something else, but new investigations are going to come out. I'll get opinions from you guys. And yeah, my life's been out of line a little bit. My schedule's been out of line. I need to get it back on track. But yeah, if you guys want to watch my podcast I did yesterday with John Rivera-Ballond, that's on my YouTube channel as well. And my podcast with Bryn Kenny is on my YouTube channel as well too. And those were very great podcasts. We talked a little bit about Mike Postle in each of them. So that's what I got, guys. Much love. Thank you very much. It's been a good ride. It's been fun watching Mike Postle own the shit out of people. But for right now, it's got to end soon. So that's it. See you guys soon. Carl, Khaki, Greer here. Greer here. I think Greer has been sending a lot of tweets up there. The man, Greer here, you take over the Postle investigation, brother, okay? You take it over. It's on you, Greer here. You're on top of the case. You put the streams up there. You get after it. You make it happen. And I'll probably be going to someplace else. So someplace else with the content here. Much love, guys. Ivy Borgata investigation video will be up not the week after next. That's it. Take care, guys. Peace. Much love. Adios. Joey Aragon. Much love. Lenny M. Host Spraggy. I will. Gigi. David. Mario. Eric Peterson. Harbs. Later.